Okay, so let's look at this scenario where you have a frequency table and you want to make a relative frequency table. I'm going to ignore this data over here for now. I worked with this in a previous video, and we turned part of this table anyway into a relative frequency distribution by using a pivot table, by using the pivot table feature in Excel. I'm going to show you an alternate way to do that now. So another way that you could do it is, let's say that you wanted to get the relative frequencies of the data here in the 1990 category. What you need to do is figure out what proportion of people are in each category. And so in order to do that, we need to add up the total number of people in this column and then divide each category by that total. That'll give us the proportion of people in each category. So in order to get the total, I can click on this cell down here and then hit equals and then type sum, open up a set of parentheses, and then I'm just going to select the data in that column. And then I'll close the parentheses and hit enter. Okay. So that gives me the total, and maybe I can call this total. Okay. Now I want to list off the relative frequencies, so I'm going to title this column relative frequency 1990. Okay, make it a little bigger. Okay, so in order to get the relative frequency, I need to divide this number by this number. So here I'm going to hit equals this number divided by that number, and then I can hit enter, and there's my relative frequency. Now I can continue to do that. I can continue to do that for each of these cells, but I want to show you something kind of cool that Excel does. So if I wanted to do this for every number in this chart, it wouldn't be too time consuming for this particular chart, but if you had a chart that had 100 rows in it, then you could speed up the process by doing the following. So you could say equals, you want to take this number, and it's going to change, right? In the next row, you want it to do this number, and in the one after that, you want it to do that number. And so we're just going to leave it like that. We're just going to select the number and then divide by this number. But this number we don't want to change. We want to divide by this number every single time. In other words, for this entry, we want to do this divided by that. For this entry, we want to do this number divided by that same number. So in order to get it to lock on this value, we press F4. So you press F4 on your keyboard, and that locks that second value. So then you can hit enter. And what you can do now is click on that cell, and this little square in the bottom right corner, you can click that and drag it down to all remaining cells, and it'll automatically compute the relative frequencies of each of those cells. So anyway, this is a pretty cool feature, and now you've got your relative frequency distribution. Of course, you can change this so that it matches the rest of the chart, and there you go. You've got your relative frequency distribution.